Imagine this for a moment. You walk into a store in the United States, ready to buy a PlayStation 5. The box looks almost identical. The performance is the same. The games are the same. The controller is the same. But there is one small difference. One version has a disk drive, the other doesn't. And that single difference could determine how much money you spend on games for the next 5 years, how flexible your gaming setup will be, and even how much control you have over the games you buy. So the question is simple. Should you buy the PS5 Digital Edition or the PS5 Disc Edition? And if you live in the United States, where game prices, resale markets, and subscription services work very differently than other countries, the answer might surprise you. In this video, we're going to break down the real differences between these two consoles. Not just the specs, but the real-world impact, how it affects your wallet, how it affects how you buy games, how it affects your freedom as a gamer. Because the choice between digital and disc isn't just about convenience anymore. It's about the future of gaming itself. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which PS5 you should buy. Let's start with why this decision matters more now than ever before. For years, the gaming industry has been slowly moving toward digital-only gaming. In the United States especially, more players are downloading games instead of buying physical copies. Game stores are shrinking, digital storefronts are expanding, and companies are pushing subscription services like PlayStation Plus harder than ever. But the PS5 arrived at a strange moment in that transition. It's powerful enough to last an entire console generation. But it also launched right when the industry started asking a big question. What happens when physical games disappear? And that's exactly why Sony released two versions of the PS5, one with a disk drive and one without it. At first glance, the difference seems simple. The PS5 Disc Edition lets you insert physical game discs. The PS5 Digital Edition removes that option completely. That's it. Same CPU, same GPU, same graphics power, same storage speed, same frame rates. From a performance standpoint, they are identical machines. But the real differences appear after you buy the console, because how you buy games, how much you spend, and how much freedom you have can change dramatically depending on which version you choose. Let's break this down in simple terms. If you buy the PS5 Digital Edition, every game you play must be downloaded from the PlayStation Store. There is no disc slot, so every purchase happens inside Sony's digital ecosystem. That means you rely entirely on PlayStation Store pricing. And here's something many American gamers notice very quickly. Digital games often stay expensive for a long time. A major release might launch at $70. And months later, physical copies at stores like Walmart, Target, or Amazon might drop to $40. While the PlayStation Store still lists the game for $69.99. That's where things get interesting. Because if you own the PS5 Disc Edition, you suddenly have options. You can buy physical games from retailers. You can buy used games. You can borrow games from friends. You can sell your games after finishing them. That flexibility creates a completely different gaming economy. And this is where the debate really starts. Because the digital edition is cheaper up front. Usually about $100 less in the United States. That makes it very appealing. But here's the part many people don't think about. Over the lifetime of the console, that $100 difference might disappear faster than you expect. Let's say you buy 5 major games in the first year. If physical copies are consistently $15 or $20 cheaper than digital versions, you could save around $75 to $100 already. Now imagine that across an entire console generation. 10 games, 15 games, 20 games. Suddenly the disc edition might actually cost you less overall, but here's where things get serious. Because the real impact of digital-only gaming isn't just about price, it's about ownership. When you buy a physical game disc, you own that copy. You can lend it, sell it, trade it, keep it forever. But when you buy a digital game, you don't actually own the game in the traditional sense. You're buying a license tied to your account. If a store removes a game from the marketplace, you can't buy it anymore. If your account gets banned, your digital library could disappear. And while those situations are rare, they highlight a shift happening across the entire entertainment industry. Music went digital, movies went digital. And now gaming is following the same path. But gamers in the United States have a unique relationship with physical games. Used game markets are huge. Stores like GameStop built entire business models around trading and reselling games. Online marketplaces allow players to buy second-hand games at massive discounts, and that entire ecosystem disappears if you choose the digital edition. But wait, because the story isn't that simple. The digital edition also has some powerful advantages. First, convenience. Digital libraries are incredibly easy to manage. You don't need to swap discs. You don't need to store cases. You don't worry about scratches. Everything lives inside your console. For many gamers, especially younger players who grew up downloading games, that convenience feels natural. And there's another advantage people often forget: game sharing. PlayStation allows two consoles to share a digital library using account features. That means two people can buy one digital copy and both play it. For households or close friends, that can dramatically reduce the cost of gaming. And this changes everything for certain types of players. Imagine two roommates in the United States who both own PS5 consoles. If they share digital purchases, every game effectively becomes half price. That advantage doesn't exist with physical discs unless you physically pass the disc back and forth. So suddenly, the digital edition starts to look more appealing again. But there's another factor that American gamers talk about constantly: internet speed. Because downloading games today can be massive. Some modern titles are over 100 gigabytes. If you live in a city with fast fiber internet, downloading games might take 20 minutes. But if you live in a rural area with slower connections, that same download could take hours, or even days. For those players, physical discs can be much more practical. The disc installs most of the game instantly, reducing download time significantly. And this is something that matters more in the United States than people realize, because internet speeds vary dramatically between urban and rural areas. But here's something almost nobody talks about: storage space. Both PS5 versions come with the same internal storage, but digital players fill that storage faster because every game must be downloaded. Disc players still install games, but they often manage libraries differently because the physical disc acts as the license key. Many gamers uninstall and reinstall physical games more freely. Digital players tend to keep games installed longer because reinstalling requires another full download. It's a small difference, but over time, it changes how people manage their consoles. And now we reach the part that really divides the gaming community: subscription gaming. PlayStation Plus has evolved dramatically in recent years. It now includes massive libraries of downloadable games. For many players, this changes the entire equation. If most of your gaming comes from subscriptions rather than buying individual titles, the digital edition suddenly makes perfect sense because you're downloading everything anyway. In that world, physical discs become less important. But here's the twist: many players in the United States still prefer buying and owning their favorite games permanently, rather than relying on subscription libraries that can change at any time. A game available today might disappear next year, and that uncertainty keeps many players attached to physical ownership. Now let's talk about resale value, because this is another hidden factor. Historically, consoles with disk drives often hold value longer. Why? Because they support both digital and physical games. They offer maximum flexibility, and flexibility tends to keep hardware relevant longer in the used market. But that might change in the future, because the industry clearly wants to move toward digital ecosystems. Digital stores generate more profit for companies. There are no manufacturing costs, no shipping costs, no retail cuts. Everything stays inside the platform, and that economic incentive is shaping the future of gaming, whether players like it or not. So when you're choosing between the PS5 Digital and Disc Edition, you're not just choosing a console, you're choosing a philosophy of gaming. One side values convenience and digital ecosystems. The other values ownership and flexibility. Neither is objectively wrong, but each one fits different types of gamers. Now let's look at the pros and cons clearly. The digital edition is cheaper up front. It looks slightly slimmer and cleaner without the disk drive. It's perfect for players who buy everything online anyway, and it works beautifully for gamers who rely heavily on subscriptions or digital sales. But it locks you into one store, one pricing system, and one ecosystem. The disc edition costs more initially, but it opens the door to physical deals, used markets, borrowing, selling, and collecting. For many gamers in the United States, those options save a lot of money over time. And that brings us to the future of this entire debate. By the end of this decade, gaming could look very different. Industry trends suggest digital libraries will continue expanding. Cloud gaming could eventually remove the need for hardware entirely. Subscription services may become the dominant way people access games, and physical discs could slowly fade away. But we're not there yet. Right now, the United States still has one of the largest physical game markets in the world. Retailers still stock major releases, collectors still buy special editions, and many gamers still prefer owning something they can hold. So the decision today is about balancing present reality with future trends. Now let's talk about practical advice. If you are a student or younger gamer who mostly buys games during digital sales, the digital edition might be perfect. It's cheaper up front and extremely convenient. If you're a working professional who buys many major releases each year, the Disc Edition could save you significant money through physical deals and resale opportunities. If you're a business owner or parent buying a console for a household, the Disc Edition might be more flexible because multiple family members can share physical games easily. And if you're a collector who enjoys building a shelf of games, the Disc Edition is the only real choice. But if you want the simplest, cleanest, most modern experience, digital gaming delivers exactly that. In the end, the PS5 digital versus disc debate isn't really about hardware. It's about control. Do you want total convenience inside a digital ecosystem, or do you want the flexibility of physical ownership? Both consoles deliver the same incredible performance. Both play the same games. Both will power the next generation of gaming for years to come. The only difference is how you choose to experience that world. So here's the question I want to leave you with. 5 years from now, will gamers still be buying discs, or will digital finally take over completely? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy deep tech breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to TechVibes, because the future of technology is changing faster than ever. And we're here to break it down, one story at a time.